This is a 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X here in Onyx Black. We're going to do a walk around and a review on it. Let me know what you guys think. So here is the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X here in Onyx Black. And I gotta say, guys, I absolutely love this truck. I think GMC nailed the overall design look of it. You know, it's got the beefiness, the boldness, and honestly, it's beautiful. So we'll start here at the front. We've got these nicely equipped C-shaped LED daytime running lights with LED lights. And as we carry over to the center here, we've got this massive kind of matte grille here that they've got equipped with the AT4X. We can see we got the red GMC logo there, camera right underneath there. Now, one thing I love about the GM heavy-duty trucks is they've given you this kind of like hood scoop here. It's nice for venting and it actually is functional, which I do have to say completes the overall kind of beefiness at the front of the truck. Now, down below here on the bumper, we can see we've got the 2500 badge there, and then we've got your parking sensors as well. We've got fog lights, and then two red recovery hooks, which are vertically mounted. Now, as we can see, if we go down a little bit below the bumper, we've got a skid plate there, but we've got no plastic air dam here, which gives this truck a lot more ground clearance if you choose to bring this off-road. Now, one thing that I truly love that is equipped with this truck are the amber lights there at the top. I just think when you see this truck at night, it's bold, especially when you see it in your rearview mirror. When all the lights are on, I think it just looks mean looking. So that's it at the front here. Let's take a look underneath the hood and we'll go over the engine of choice. So taking a look underneath the hood here of the GMC Sierra AT4X, we've got the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel, 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque, mated to the 10-speed Allison transmission. So highly recommended combination of the Duramax and the Allison. You've got great towing capability. You actually get decent fuel economy too, and the power is there. So that's equipped underneath the hood here of this GMC Sierra. Let's take a look around the truck and go over its options. So taking a lolook around the GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X here, we'll start with the tire and wheel setup. So we're sitting on 305/70 R18, so we get an 18-inch wheel. We can see we've got the GMC logo there in the center. Carpeted liner inside there with, you know, that plastic liner around. I really like the fact that they've put the amber lights there on the fenders. And then you can see it says GMC also there, which is a nice touch to add. Inside here, we've got the DSSV Multimatic shocks there. On the side of the fender, we can see we've got Duramax, Allison transmission with the 6.6 liter badge there. Body matched mirror cap here with a light indication here and a camera underneath to encompass your full 360 camera. And then this is a side profile view. So we're sitting with a 6.5 foot bed. We do get a running board as well. The nice thing is that you've got kind of like a rock guard in a way here at the bottom of the truck, as we can see the two-tone here. This helps when it comes to like stone chips and stuff if you're going to take this off-road. You do get keyless entry on the front two doors. This one does have that running board as well. So we'll open up the door here. So you can see the running board comes down, which helps a lot. We'll start with the door panels. We come inside, all soft touch here. We've got some nice texture, white stitching and piping, Bose speaker, lock and unlock, and then more soft touch here. I think the door panel looks good. We've got the AT4X badge there on the door sill. And then as we carry over to the seat here, nice plush seat with some white stitching and piping. We've got the AT4X badge there. And we get some kind of like, you know, mahogany stitching in the center here. Over here are your seat adjustments with massaging seats. Now over here on the dash, we've got an upper glove box area, which we can open and use. We've got some kind of like laminate wood trim there too. Lower glove box down below. And then that white stitching and piping carries throughout. So I gotta say the interior looks really good. You even get a leather wrapped handle here too. Now, one other thing that I really like is not only do you get a sunroof here, you've got like an Alcantara liner, which is a nice touch to add to the luxury of the truck, right? Now, we'll take a look here at the back. Now, in the back here, we'll start with the door panel. All soft touch here. We got some kind of like wood trim, which I think looks great. Speaker here and a speaker there. And then you got a pocket for storage down below. Over here with the seats, we got that same design, white stitching and piping with that kind of like mahogany or red stitching there. You do get cubbies inside here too, and they can cool things. I do have to say, like, it's a cooler area in here, so it's blocked by sunlight and whatnot. Now the seats do fold up, and then you get this storage box underneath here, just in case if you need to store things. Now, as we hop inside over here, we've got cup holders there, heated seats, 2 vents, and USB-C. Now, another cool thing is they've given you a handle as well. Now, I'll show you how I would step in here as someone being about 5'10", 5'11". All right, so hopping inside, you're going to notice the running board is your saving grace getting in this truck. It's so big, that running board is going to help, as well as having this handle here. Now, getting inside, the seats feel pretty comfortable, I got to say. Unfortunately, they don't recline. Can't move it forward or back to, have yourself kind of pushed forward. But I've got like over a foot of room here. The seat in front of me is, in a decent spot. You could move it even further back. I guarantee you if this seat was all the way back, I'd still probably have a decent amount of room. You've got some comfort stuff. You've got your cup holders here. You've got your vent, USB and USB-C, 2 heated seats. Now, it would be nice, I would say, to have like your own climate control back here for a truck. I think it's necessary when you're paying a decent amount of money for these things nowadays. But other than that, like I said, it's very comfy. The seat's nice. I do wish they kind of went forward so that you have a little bit more room to kind of relax. But overall, it's a nice space to hang out. I like the fact also that there's an indent here for taller passengers, so your head is not going to hit the ceiling. But overall, having the handle and the running board here to place your foot and then obviously to place your hand is amazing, honestly. It just helps you tremendously getting out of this truck. Now that's it for the back here. We'll shut the door. Now, one other thing that I truly love about this bed is they've put this step here. So instead of hopping onto the tire itself, you can actually put your foot here and get easier access to the bed. So really nice thing to add. One other cool thing is, like I mentioned, is the amber light. Now here is what that back tire and wheel looks like. So they are the same dimensions. We've got that carpeted liner inside, and then we've got that kind of plastic liner. Now here's a look also at the back DSSV shocks that are kind of like right behind the frame. But overall, you've got your leaf springs there. It's a heavy duty truck, so it's going to ride accordingly. That's it for a side profile view. Let's take a look at that back tailgate. So in the back here of the GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X, we'll start here in the middle. We can see we got the GMC Sierra name, and then we've got the AT4X there on the right. At the bottom here on the bumper, we can see we've got your parking sensors, and then on the sides of the bumper, we've got your steps. Now, as we can see, we've got LED taillights, which I think look very good. Also, one other thing to note is this does have your Multipro tailgate, so I am going to zoom out here for a second. So 2 things to note here. We've got your tailgate release here, and then we've got a camera, and then your lights as well. So to open up the tailgate, we just push the bottom of it, and it will come down just like that. Now, this one does have a spray and bed liner from GM, as we can see the GMC logo there. It does have your 5th wheel prep pack there. We've got your connections here for your trailer and your plugs as well. So over here, we've got your 120, and then here are your trailering plugs there if needed. Now we've got tie downs in each corner, so 3 in each corner, which is great. At the top there, above the rear sliding window, we've got 2 cameras. One is for your bed, and one is for your mirror, which we'll get into when we get inside. Now, the Multipro tailgate is going to be your saving grace to get inside to the bed. So we'll click the top part of the tailgate, and it will come down just like that. And then to access the step, all we do is push this down. Now, this one does have the optional kicker audio speaker back here. So you can play and hook up your phone and whatnot through these buttons here, which is amazing. I think that's a really cool kind of tailgate trick. Now, one thing that I've noticed that GMC is not including is a handle. So usually there would have been a handle here. I can't find it anywhere. I guess they don't have it. The stick figure guy shows there's a handle, but unfortunately I cannot find one. So you don't get a handle. So you're going to have to just kind of use your hands and your feet just getting inside here. One other thing to mention is you do get lights back here. So you got one light there over here as well, and then the one at the top. So that is one thing to note. But other than that, I think that is pretty much it at the back here. Now this is one use of many you can use on the Multipro tailgate. So to close it, we'll just close that and then we'll lift it up like this. Now if we have the tailgate come down just like that, we can use this as a stopper if needed be. And then one other thing to note is if we want to just access the top, we can push it down and then also use the stopper if needed. So really cool thing to use if you need to access more parts of the bed. Now that is it for the back, guys. let's take a look at those seats behind the driver. I just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach, he'll hook you up with a great deal. All right, so taking a look inside the GMC Sierra behind the driver. So same design here on the door panel. We got soft touch here, some nice wood trim, storage down below. We've got your two Bose speakers here. Nothing here on the door sill. And as we carry up here, we've got some white stitching and piping carried throughout with some of that red stitching. We still get a cubby inside here. And then over here, we still get those heated seats, USB, USB-C, two vents, and then cup holder there at the top with that indent. And as you can see here, you can see more of that like Alcantara liner. Just adds a little bit more luxury to the truck, I do have to say. And then the handles here are going to help you tremendously getting in. Now that's it for the back here. Let's take a look at those front seats. All right, so taking a look inside the GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X. So we'll start with the door panel, all soft touch material with some wood trim. You get that red stitching here, kind of where your arm would lay, white stitching and piping, window and mirror controls here. Now the mirror can extend, so you push that button, they'll extend, and they are also power folding. They also do have your blind spot detection, and there is a light right there that beams backward. So at night, if you need help seeing, that's what that's there for. You also have memory seating here with lock and unlock here. You got your massive Bose speaker, AT4X here on the door sill, and then this is what that seat looks like. So you get the AT4X badge there, that white stitching and piping as well. They are nice and soft. Seat adjustments here with massaging seats. And then over here on the left side of the steering wheel, we've got your different modes. So you got your 4x4 settings here with your different off-road modes. And then here you have your light controls, heads-up display buttons here, which we'll get into. But one thing that really annoyed me is that there is not a telescopic steering wheel that is automatic. It is manually adjusted just by pushing this down. I mean, it is what it is, but I wish they kind of put an automatic button here. But you also get handles to help you get in. Now that's it before we hop in, guys. Let's talk about inside. So we are inside the GMC Sierra AT4X here, and we'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a leather wrapped steering wheel here with some red stitching inside. On the left side, we've got your cruise control technology buttons here with your forward collision alert, heated steering wheel also on the left side. On the right side here, we'll control your front display screen, so you can toggle through depending on what you want. You can also change the display layout and also the units here. So if you want metric or imperial, you can change that. So it's just going to depend obviously on the user. Now behind the steering wheel, you've got your buttons here for your tuning and volume. And then on the left side, we've got your toggle for your wipers. And then this here is your column shifter. Now in front of the steering wheel, if you guys can see, we've got the 0 there. That is your heads-up display, which you can move up or down with these buttons over here. So you got different info settings there, and then you can also change the brightness if you actually just don't want it. Now one other thing here is, as you can see, there is the truck there, and we're in normal mode. By turning this little knob here, you can change the different modes to off-road or normal. So you only have 2 selections there. And then you can also change your 4x4 settings here. So as you can see, it says 2-wheel drive, and then you can go to auto and whatnot. So it's just going to depend obviously on what you want. Now at the top here, we've got 2 speakers. So we got a speaker here on the A pillar, and then one over here, one over in the center, and then 2 over on the passenger side. But at the top here, it's kind of like a hard touch plastic at the top, but it looks like a leather. You got some white stitching and piping. I kind of wish it was a soft touch, but you know what, it does look good, but when you touch it, you can tell it's a hard touch plastic. Now like I said, over here you have your softer touch over here with a upper glove box area and then your lower glove box area. Now here is the center console area here with your screen. Now compared to a Chev, you know, you have vents on your left and right, whereas the GMC, you have vents at the top here. And then this whole setting is just a little bit different. But with the GMC, you can tell the different quality features. So like, for example, these little climate controls and the toggles here have more chrome on them, whereas the Chev is just more plastic. But anyways, over here with the screen, it's very intuitive. It works very well. It's kind of like a dual screen setup. So over here, we've got your audio, and then you can scroll through here depending on what you want. You can have your maps here. Now, if you want your maps on the bigger screen, you just click this little icon here, and your maps will appear over here. Now, you still can have that little screen here to showcase your audio, trailer settings, or clock. So it's just going to depend obviously on the user, but very intuitive and it works very well. You've got 2 home buttons, one here and one here. So if you want to push the actual button itself, it goes back to home. You know, you've got your different settings here, Google Assistant, Play Store. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got different camera angles here too, and the camera quality is very good. You know, you can have your 360 camera on if you want. You know, you can look at your front and back cameras. You've got tailgate cameras, you know, bird's eye view. Here is your bed camera, which you can zoom in and out, worst case. Now, if we scroll over here, the nice thing is that you can control your climate in the screen if you wish, or you actually have physical buttons, which I still think people prefer the physical buttons for some things. So just like I said, going to depend on the person and settings, and then also Wi-Fi hotspot here if you need it. Now down below here, we've got dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats. Over here, we've got your engine start stop button. And then down below here, we've got your exhaust brake, lane keeping assist, parking sensors, your tailgate release, hazards, traction control. You can actually put all your windows down with this button, but unfortunately you can't put them all the way up. So only all the way down. It does have your rear locker here and your hill descent control. We do also get some more storage here, USB, USB-C here. And as you can see in the center here, as opposed to having a center console shifter, it frees up a lot more space here. So with the column shifter here, you've got a ton of more room. You know, you've got some cup holders here, more slots to put things. And then here is your trailer brake controller. Now, as we carry over to the center here, we've got the AT4X badge here with soft touch here on the center console with some red stitching and white stitching. Now, we'll open it up and we've got some more storage that we can pull out. We can see we've got a light here, USB, USB-C, a 120 that we can close, and then also here is where your wireless charging pad is for your phone. Now that is it for the center here. As we come up here, this is where that camera is above your rear sliding window. So this is your rear camera mirror. So you can turn it on or off, zoom in, zoom out, move it up and down. Ton of cool options you can do there. And then up here, we've got your garage door selection, OnStar, and then here are your moonroof controls with your rear sliding window controls. And then here is that sun visor, which is also encased in an Alcantara look. So that is it for the inside. I think GMC has done a great job designing the overall layout and, you know, the quality of things inside. I've got the window sticker right behind me, which I'm sure you guys are curious to know what the pricing is. So let's go take a look at that and I'll give you my final thoughts. So let's talk price. 2026 GMC Sierra AT4X here in Onyx Black, 129,947 Canadian. Let me know what you guys think about this truck in the comments. I personally think it is an absolute beast and it is beautiful, but unfortunately the price is pretty hefty. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.